Is it okay? The focus is all good.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Brandon.
Welcome. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We're wearing the same clothes as the
Yep.
last episode because this is right afterwards.
Yeah. We just don't want to go too long, but so we're still obviously in the Hermetica.
Different drinks.
Different drinks. I'm back on the Goslings. Brandon's going to the mountain.
Yeah, I'm just going up to the mountain for a little bit. Here.
Oh, you should have found that scripture.
Oh, yeah. How beautiful are the feet upon the mountains. Or whatever.
That's the best. Like, is that when you crush the can? Your feet upon the... Anyway, so we're doing Brian Copenhaver's Hermetica. We're doing his translation, which is a new translation that we got, and we really like it.
Yep. I like it a lot. It a lot.
Brian, we want to have you on this show.
Brian, we'd love to have you as a guest.
Actually, it's just a little bit more about him. He's way into, he knows Greek and Latin, but also he has written books on the Middle Ages and magic.
Yes.
And so he knows this seems like it'd be right up his alley.
Yeah, totally. I think it is. I think
it's but actually this one doesn't have the magic.
No. And
although Hermetics
it gets thrown together
become
a lot. It gets thrown
synonymous
together quite a bit.
with. Yeah, people are like, "Oh, that's devil stuff."
Yeah.
Because of all the alchemy and stuff that's associated in other stuff. But the Corpus Hermeticum, or the Hermetica that it's 17 books? Because there's
the Corpus
one
Hermeticum
missing.
Is 17.
Yeah.
And then this book right here has the Latin version of Asclepius.
Yeah. So
in as well.
Yeah, and so it actually has 18 books, but it's a modern translation. He did a great job, and full, like, ridiculous amount, but not too many of I'm like burping of footnotes.
Get over the burps, Mark.
Like, but like footnotes and stuff, but there's a lot of really neat stuff, and some of those footnotes we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, and what's cool with the footnotes is they're all usually the format of these kind of books is you have the text, then you have like 15 pages of commentary. And the way that he has this situated is the texts are all like together.
Yeah,
without the commentary.
Yeah,
and without even footnotes.
He doesn't even put things, because a lot of times that distracts you. You're like, oh, what's this? And you go, and then you're turning back.
So you flip to the back of the book, and he has this really nicely formatted, laid out footnotes and commentary. It's one of the best I've seen out of any of these types of books.
Yeah,
like if you read the Dead Sea Scrolls, the same thing happens. The Nag Hammadi Library, you get the editors, and they're trying to, like, between each book, they have like this several pages, and sometimes it's as boring as can be. But this, not only is his commentary actually not really boring, but it's well formatted. So I highly recommend this version.
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing is, because this is a modern translation, he has all the wisdom of all the people that have translated and made footnotes. I mean, Brandon's...
He has Scott in there.
Yeah.
Quotes.
Who's that?
Karen King? What are you looking at?
No, it's Scott.
Walter Scott.
Walter Scott's has a 3-volume thing. We've already we're doing Mead's, which is 3 volumes.
George Robert Stowe Mead.
Yeah, GRS Mead, and so there's all this stuff. So he's getting, and then there's also things that have been discovered with the
Nag
Hammadi library and stuff. So he's got all this stuff that he's able to compile and really
I think
open up the understanding of it. And then his translation is really good.
Yeah.
And
he has a last name that really challenges you to not say Copenhagen.
Yep, you got to say Copenhaver. That's what it is.
Get it right, Copenhaver.
Yep, Brian P. Copenhaver.
Cool guy. Can't wait to meet him.
Thank you. Yeah.
I hope you're watching, Brian.
No, he is.
Okay.
He is. Okay, so we're doing the 7th book in the Hermetica.
Here's the title: that the greatest evil in mankind is ignorance concerning God.
Yeah, when I read this, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be."
Same here.
And
I'm
it's
like,
so
oh,
short
this is gonna be
too.
a lame one.
Like, yeah. And then I read it, and I was like, "Ooh!" Like it gets you at the right how it starts.
Right at the beginning. So because this one's so short, I'm just going to read the first verse right now. Because sometimes we kind of like stumble over how to get started on it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read the first verse and let Mark give us a discourse on what
You're going to read the whole first?
First
okay.
verse. One.
Okay.
It's okay. Here we go. This is to... Oh, it doesn't say who it's... This one isn't to anybody, is it?
This one's just...
This is just Hermes kind
Actually, and one of the things that he says in the footnotes is that this seems to... a lot of people think that this was written by the same person who did the one in the first book, Shepherd of Men, at the end. Remember, he's like, "I'm gonna go out and teach everybody."
Oh, sure, yeah.
You know, but
okay,
or not.
We'll see. We'll come up. We'll have an opinion.
But anyway, whatever it is, it's cool.
Okay, so where are you heading in your drunkenness, you people? Have you swallowed the doctrine of ignorance undiluted, vomiting it up already because you cannot hold it? Stop and sober yourselves up. Look up with the eyes of the heart, if not all of you, at least those of you who have the power. The vice of ignorance floods the whole earth and utterly destroys the soul shut up in the body, preventing it from anchoring in the havens of deliverance.
All right.
Deep.
Lots
of things right there.
Yeah, I mean, just first off, right out of the thing, where are you headed in your drunkenness?
Yeah.
Like, it's just
That's
that
common,
the imagery is,
it's a common imagery.
Drunken with sin or delusion or what,
Yeah.
like he just calls humankind out. Like, you're just drunk with whatever, you're not, what I'm trying to think, well, anyway, I don't know what I want to...
Keep thinking if you get a chance.
Keep thinking.
Yeah, I think the imagery is what really matters.
Yeah.
When there's this...
Stumbling around.
When they use the symbolism of drunkenness with, like, state of mind. Yeah, you picture a bunch of people kind of just stumbling around through life.
Yeah.
And then once you think about it, I'll warn you here. This is a little warning. If you think about it a little while, like I have, then you'll start to like realize like how common that actually is in your own life. Like, oh my gosh, everybody's drunk.
Yeah,
drunk on their life.
Yeah,
drunk on their culture, drunk on whatever's keeping them from seeing things.
Yeah. It's the dulled mind.
Good.
Let's just say that.
Dulled mind. That's epic.
Yeah.
Good job, Mark.
Thank you. I knew that. I knew it was there somewhere.
Someone in the comments mentioned if you like Mark mentioning dulled mind and how profound that was to you.
But yeah, stumbling through life and distracted, not fully in it. I mean, if you're in a drunken state.
The two ways I hear, just real quick, the two ways that I hear, the two symbolisms that are often used in this case, in describing what he's describing right here, is either drunkenness or sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically, hey, you're not able to see something.
Yeah. And then what are they drunken with? Have you swallowed the doctrine of ignorance undiluted?
Oh, that's deep.
And then you're vomiting it up already because you can't hold it. So this is like, you get these shots lined up.
Yeah,
you're drinking shots of the doctrines of ignorance undiluted. I mean, this is like the good stuff.
It's not even diluted at all.
The stuff that you can light on fire or whatever. You're like, oh, that burns.
And like undiluted ignorance.
Yeah. But then vomiting it up already because you can't hold it. It's something you're taking all this in, but then you can't hold it. Or is that clinging? I don't know. But you can't even hold it. or you keep changing your mind, but just like being just so sick from drinking this.
Yeah, you're making yourself
this
sick.
Ignorance, from being ignorant.
I love ignorance.
Ignorance is bliss, they say.
Yeah.
Like in the Matrix, because like, I know this food isn't real.
Yeah, but it tastes real. Yeah,
but gosh dang,
that was a great scene.
I want to be rich. I want to be an important guy, maybe an actor. I just watched. Anyway,
Mark watched The Matrix yesterday.
So that's basically like the blue pill or the red pill would be the coffee or something.
I haven't seen it for a while. Which one was it? It was the
blue pill is you can go back to your life. Okay. Red pills. Anyway.
Oh, he says, why did I not take the blue pill?
So swallow. Yeah. So you're swallowing. You're taking these swallowing the alcohol of ignorance, undiluted, and taking those with blue pills.
Yeah.
You're taking pills and ignorance.
Mark's taking this to a whole new level.
So anyway, but he paints this picture, and then he's like, okay, you need to stop and sober up. Time to get
look up with the eyes of the heart.
I like that
closer
term.
To the heart.
Closer to the
Matrix
heart.
And Rush will find their way into this episode.
Heck yeah. Brandon was singing that song or humming it earlier.
Yeah, I was singing it.
I'm not singing it, but I was like, what song is that? And I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's it. But actually some of the translations say that he wanted him to force vomit up the stuff to get it out of his system to sober
really?
up.
That's interesting.
So depending on where you put the thing. So, but anyway, but I like the eyes of the heart. Like,
yeah.
Like we in the last one we talked about, can you hold your understanding in your hand?
Yeah.
You can't, but you can't. Like, totally. You can, but you can, so you can look up with the eyes of your heart. Yeah, you can see with your heart, right? I guess. Or that feeling, you can't hold it, but you're...
Look with your eyes of your heart that's shaped like a pyramid.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
I don't know where I was going with that. But...
It was a good place.
Man. And then he's like, okay, if not all of you, at least the ones who have the power to.
Yeah.
Obvious, but that goes back to the thing with, remember, Tad's like, but why can't everybody have mind?
Yeah. I think that
because
I keep on going back to that.
They're not looking at Yeah. So
the vice of ignorance floods the whole earth and utterly destroys the soul shut up in the body.
She said,
So the vice of ignorance floods the earth.
I was thinking about the vomit.
Like flooding the earth?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be horrible, like a Garbage Pail Kid card.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying that it's that they're drinking the doctrine of undiluted ignorance, and they're can't hold it, and then they have to keep on drinking it, and so it's just filling up the earth. It's just this disgusting like picture.
Yeah, I'm imagining I'm imagining that picture that you used for our Gnostic Deluge, album art. I'm imagining that, and people are like trying to climb up on rocks and trees to get out of the water.
Yeah, like get me out of this. But anyway, this is talking about the flood. Like, I mean, this obviously it brings the whole allegory of Noah and the flood.
Yeah.
Or not allegory, or the true story of
allegory.
How dare you?
Well, this has come full circle. You know, we're doing this podcast as the Gnostic Deluge.
Yeah.
And this has come now full circle. Like, here we are, and it's like that's why this is all.
This is where we wanted to go.
What's interesting is the word flood's used for two different ways. It's used as a bad thing, but then sometimes it's used as a good thing, like flood the earth with wisdom, but then it's used as like a flood, like everybody's trying to get out of it.
Yeah. So this is a literal figurative flood.
Oh, and I love that the very first line of verse 2, the very first sentence. Surely you will not sink in this great flood. Interesting.
Well, so okay, so it's the ignorance that's flooding the earth, shutting it, destroys the soul, preventing it from anchoring in the havens of deliverance.
That's a really cool. So I'm imagining these like islands or these like a Gnostic Deluge album art that you created. You know, people are like finding a place to like get up and climb out.
Yeah, there's like a dog
anchoring.
swimming.
They're like anchoring. Yeah, there is.
There is.
They're like anchoring themselves down so they're safe. Mm-hmm. And then in verse 2, then it says, "And those of you who can will take the ebb and gain the haven of deliverance and anchor there. Then seek a guide to take you by the hand and lead you to the portals of knowledge."
Okay.
I might have went a little ahead there, but
well, I'm saying if you take the Noah thing, you're building an ark. You got and you're anchoring with a boat. Like you got. So those who can, because not everybody's going to be able to.
Yeah.
Or not everybody's not going to be able to. Not everybody's going to choose to.
Correct.
That's the thing. That's the key.
Choice.
It's not that. Yeah.
This is the real meaning of today's episode, is about choice.
Well, no, I'm just saying that it's not that it's hidden, or whatever, or that everybody can't do it. It's that everybody doesn't want to, because it's so fun to be in the bar or whatever, be drunken with this ignorance, because ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though you're waking up with a headache and then you're going out and doing it again the next day.
It's either they don't want to, or they have no clue that they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like total ignorance. Yeah.
So anyway, but he's get this anchor. What's the anchor? I guess it'd be knowledge, right? I mean, if it's ignorance that's flooding the earth, it's the anchor of knowledge or understanding would be keeping you from drowning. The log of knowledge.
Yeah.
What is the log?
What is the anchor?
I don't know. Yeah. I never really looked into it, so well, whatever. The anchor's whatever you want.
Reminds me of a line at the end of oh my wow! It reminds me of the last line in the cup or the monad.
What?
I'll read it to you.
Okay.
Last line. Here we go.
Brandon's reaching back.
If I'm completely wrong, then we got a problem.
That's nothing.
That was.
Like, this stinks.
So look at. Such then is God's image, as best as I have been able to sketch it out for you. If your vision of it is sharp and you understand it with the eyes of your heart.
Closer to the heart.
I think the Russian Matrix will make its way into this episode. Believe me, child, you shall discover the road that leads above. Or, rather, the image itself will show you the way, for the vision of it has a special property. It takes hold of those who have had the vision and draws them up, just as a magnet stone draws iron. So they say.
Well, that's where seek a guide to take you by the hand.
Yeah, and you attach yourself to that, and get yourself anchored, and go forward.
So, I mean, okay, even if you're floating in the flood, somehow stabilize yourself and then look for some help. Get some help.
Yeah, I'm always in the floating around.
Like, I'm in the flood. Get a tube. And then have somebody help you out. So, okay.
I don't want to. I won't mention it. Go ahead. Let's go ahead. I almost thought of derailing us. I'm not going to derail us.
Okay. Well, okay. So this is the seek a guide to take you by the hand and lead you to the portals of knowledge. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, this one was it was cool because remember in the last one where he's being initiated, Tat was. Is this 2? No, this isn't even 2. But he was saying, I want you need to know this. You can't be ignorant of these things.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching you so you can become initiated in these mysteries or whatever.
One of your neighbor kids is going to break his arm. There's some kids out in the tree. A kid that's pretty high in that tree right there, and anyways, it's
okay. Oh my gosh. Well, maybe we should close the blinds so we don't see him fall. He's not anchored. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just ignore him. He'll go away. Okay. I don't know what. Thanks for pointing that out, Brandon. Now I'm distracted. Oh my gosh. Dude, I almost vomited it up through my nose. Okay, anyway. Oh, yeah, that kid is way up there. That is a pile of verde tree, and those are not. They're always, their branches are always breaking.
It's a blue one, right? So branches break.
Okay, well, maybe we should.
If you see tears in my eyes, it's because I'm worried about that kid.
I'm crying for him. Like, are those kids like? Is that kid gonna throw a rock at him? Yeah, they must be picking on him.
No, they're playing.
No, I don't. Okay.
Mark, this is Mark's house. He's concerned.
I know, but I'm saying, like, that kid's up there. I think those kids are kind of. Okay.
Is this an interesting episode or what?
Here, pause it real quick, or not. We can.
Want me to pause it?
Yeah, just.
Okay, we'll be right back. We're good.
Okay, well, we rescued or we didn't rescue him, but the kid's out of the thing.
Everything has been...
Brandon, no looking out the window.
Everything's safe.
So, what were we even talking about?
I used the...
we were talking about...
monad to describe.
Yeah, and that was really good.
Thank you, Mark.
But I can't remember what it said. Oh, I was talking about the drawing, the guide. Remember we were talking about the guide?
Yeah, we're talking about the whole student-teacher or master-teacher concept.
Yeah.
Finding a place, anchoring yourself, and finding someone to lead or kind of like guide you the right way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of, interesting. Cause nothing that we've read in the Hermetic texts have kind of gone that direction yet, have they?
Not
mentioned this specifically.
Yeah, I mean, they made allusions to it, like whenever he was talking about here, I want you to be initiated, kind of thing.
And I think that this is one of the differences of this Hermetic philosophy than other Western philosophies, because what we have is there's different ways to approach this, but one of the popular ones that has throughout time has ended up winning this kind of debate is if you want to spread this philosophy, you send out like missionaries and you go out and you preach and you basically convert everybody to think this way or to see it, or you at least introduce it to them.
But that's
and you
not
go
the
out.
way.
And a more wholesome way to look at it, you at least go and you give everybody a chance to find it, right? You go and preach it. But it seems like to me that the Hermetic philosophy is kind of a more hermitish, like, hey, you don't go out and preach and force feed this to everybody. They'll come to you.
Yeah.
Or
those who seek.
Yeah, those who seek will find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like, well, that's what Jesus says.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Seek and ye shall find.
Exactly.
Knock and shall be opened unto you. But guess what? That takes work on your part.
Yeah.
You don't just sit there and I'm going to open the door for you.
Exactly.
It's like that old picture. There's no handle on the side that
yeah.
They intentionally put that. But
you
it's
have
that
to be
famous
open from
one.
the inside. Yeah.
But okay, one of the things that it says something kind of about it in the footnotes, but that I think is really Egyptian about this particular thing. And whenever I thought of it, I was like, oh, this is
Okay.
This is initiation kind of thing. seek a guide to take you by the hand and lead you to the portal of knowledge.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's interesting.
Like, he's
get the
taking you,
imagery
he's
of
guiding you, and he's taking you to where the knowledge is. They talk about in the footnotes that he's actually leading you to the temple.
Take you by the hand. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, that's where. But first, they were talking about the flood, or could actually be the flood of the Nile flooding and putting you off course as you're going to the pyramids or whatever, or to the temples there.
Okay.
But anyway, but in the imagery that came to my mind right away was in the Annie Papyrus.
Yep.
That's
and all of those are pretty much you have a guide taking you by the hand. Right?
Yeah, if you're watching this,
so Mark is showing a segment of the Annie Papyrus.
Yeah, it's actually it's got Horace taking Annie, who's the guy that died. He's taking him to the throne, or taking him through the different stages of the thing, and then eventually taking him to the throne of Osiris, where he gets to worship Osiris and become an Osiris.
Exactly, that's the key.
Yeah,
become an Osiris.
So it says, I'll just read.
Please do.
This is plate 4 of the Annie Papyrus. If anybody's interested, I got this really cool version of it where it's got the whole thing. Anyway, thus says Horus, son of Isis, I have come to you, O Wennefer, that obvious, and I bring Annie to you. His heart is true, having gone forth from the balance, and he has not sinned against any god or goddess. Thoth has judged him, so this is after the judgment, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. In writing, which has been told to the Ennead, and Ma'at, the great, has witnessed. Let there be given to him bread and beer, bread and ginger beer.
Yeah, perfect.
Which has been issued in the presence of Osiris, and he will be forever like the followers of Horus. And then the next one, he's in the presence of God. Anyway, that's what. So Horus is bringing him into the presence of God and saying he's been vouched for.
Yeah.
But he's pulling him by the hand.
Yeah, totally. He's leading.
Here he is. He's been vouched for by these different things. So, okay, Lol, this maybe I'm stretching, but
stretch away, Mark.
Where was it that I saw this? Okay, so seek a guide to take you by the hand and lead you to the portals of knowledge.
Yeah.
He led him to the portals, through the portals of knowledge. There shines the light cleansed of darkness. There is no one drunk. So
there is no one who doesn't see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All are sober and gaze with the heart towards one who wishes to be seen.
Yeah.
Okay, who's the one that wishes to be seen that we were talking about in the other thing?
Yeah.
Who's the invisible one that you can't see?
He's invisible, but yet all these things he puts right in front of us, and he definitely wants us to know that he's there, right?
So, but yeah. Anyway, I know.
Interesting.
Who is neither heard nor spoken of, who is seen not with the eyes. We talked about that in the last one. I know that God is manifest or visible and invisible.
Yeah.
But he who is not seen with the eyes, but with the mind and heart. Okay. So anyway, I thought that was interesting because he's brought, but it just has the imagery of that plate 4 or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Of the the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and the subnote is the Book of the Going Forth by Day, and this is talking about light. I know I'm maybe
No,
stretching,
no, you're not touching
but
anything.
he's the portals of knowledge. There shines a light cleanse of darkness,
Cleanse of darkness.
going forth by day. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's the imagery that came to my
I like.
mind.
I like that. The book of the going forth by day. Interesting. Moving forward with the light.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's
I like
I mean, hopefully it's not a stretch, and there are people like that have gone that in the study of it that they talk that Copenhaver talks about in his footnotes, and I don't think it's going too far.
No.
But and these are supposed to have been, I mean, obviously Hermes, Thoth, these are the writings of those people.
Yeah.
Oh, but this is interesting too because
You like the garment part?
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So then next it says, but first. So here's all these things. You do this. You find a teacher, lead you to the knowledge of pearls of knowledge. But first, you must rip off the tunic that you wear, the garment of ignorance, the foundation of vice, the bonds of corruption, the dark cage, the living death.
I love it.
The sentient corpse.
No,
The portable tomb, the resident thief, the one who hates through what he loves and envies through what he hates.
I love it. They call it. So first, you need to rip off the tunic.
Yeah.
Okay, this might be a stretch for me, real quick.
Okay.
Is that in order to get through this, you need to die?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You gotta take off your skin.
Yeah.
You gotta take off your mortal body.
Because Annie, that's his ka, which basically we would think soul.
Yeah.
His body is been mummified.
Good point.
So, in order for this to happen, you need to have died and moving on. But that's not necessarily
Well,
but off
at least
the
die
flesh.
in a certain way.
Or not even. It
Right.
doesn't. Yeah, or it doesn't even mean. I'm just taking it. Okay, we're taking it from the Book of the Dead point. Yeah, in order for that to happen, you have to. But
This is like leading to the portals of knowledge. I think that there's still a journey to happen here.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, but if you're part of the initiated, you need to put off the mortal man.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like we were talking about the
In Pomandries, it mentions that you, what is it? That you can't do this until you hate your body.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You need to overcome. You need to go beyond just reason up to mind. You need to, get knowledge and be able to put off your desires and lusts and all that different stuff.
This
so
is
it's not
This is rehashing a small section of what we got in the Shepherd of Her in the Pomandries.
Yeah.
It's giving us more. It's giving us a better imagery too, though.
Yeah. Like I just like okay. Yeah, because here's what you're ripping off or you're putting aside, even if it's not talking about death. You're the garment of ignorance, foundation of vice, bonds of corruption, dark cage. I just love you just go.
Which of those is your favorite?
Either the living death or the sentient corpse.
Yeah, it's a good one. The sentient corpse is the good one.
That'd be a cool band name.
Sentient corpse.
The portable tomb.
That's a good one. There's some good ones. There's some good ones here. I like them. I like them all actually. The resident thief. Like he's resident. I love that. The resident thief.
Yeah. So basically, overcome.
And the one who hates through what he loves and envies through what he hates.
See, that was weird. I'm kind of like, I don't know exactly what that means. Do you?
The one who hates through what he loves.
Well, so
Yeah. That's the line that reminds me of that one line from the Gospel of Mary.
he said that Dodd considered that phrase untranslatable.
Which
So
phrase? This last one?
Yeah, it was kind of like one that maybe possibly didn't translate correct. So,
it is kind of like
but it's overcoming the human condition. Whether it's actual literally dying, but just dying doesn't get you.
No, I mean
you have to be prepared.
Isn't that kind of what the? Isn't that kind of the? I don't know if this is what I learned when I was a kid, or if this is like a real thing. Like how many other places? I don't know how spread of a worldwide of a teaching this is, or Western worldwide. But isn't that kind of like the whole thing about baptism? Is like you die, like it's an imagery of like.
Putting off the old man and coming up as a new,
reborn spiritually.
Yeah.
And a couple of the monad references the immersion of the knowledge.
Yeah, because this is more than a mortal death because everybody dies.
Sure.
So this is putting off the weakness and the things that you've learned or been taught. The evil that you've called good, like we were talking about in that ignorance. This is overcoming and raising yourself up to the higher mind. So
I guess the next verse actually, and the rest of this actual text here, or this dialogue, is
what?
Yeah, why don't I have it on silent? It actually gives more details on the actual tunic, right? And what it.
Yeah, such is the odious tunic you have put on. It strangles you and drags you down with it so that you will not hate its viciousness, not look up and see the fair vision of truth and the good that lies within. See the good that's in you. You're good inside. Not understand the plot that it has plotted against you. When it made insensible the organs of sense, made them inapparent and unrecognized for what they are, blocked up with a great load of matter and jammed full of loathsome pleasure.
Jeez.
So that you do not hear what you must hear, nor observe what you must observe. It's getting in your way.
Yeah,
you're not being what you should because you're being deceived by yourself.
This is.
It's self-deceit.
I keep on thinking of that. I keep on thinking of that every time I read this, or I think of that line from the Gospel of Mary that I was sharing with you earlier.
What? Say it. Tell me it.
It's one of the
Brandon,
things.
Brandon, you got it right there.
Yeah. One of the lines from the Gospel of Mary. The Gospel of
Mary. That
one
that you shared.
I shared it
a
few episodes ago.
Okay, well, yeah, read it. Why not?
The wording just like it's why we get sick, like why we get sick and die. This is when like some of the apostles were asking Mary questions in Mary chapter 3 verse 7 and 8, and she says, "This is why you get sick and die, because you love what deceives you."
Yeah.
And I keep on thinking, like, what if she's referring to not a physical death only, but also maybe also parallelizing that with like more of like a spiritual.
Yeah.
Because you love that which deceives you, and that's what this imagery keeps on reminding me of, that like just deception and like drunkenness.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, so one of the things that I thought was interesting was the tunic, that he used the word the tunic.
Yeah.
Rip off the tunic that you wear, and speaking of it as actual flesh,
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what were we? We're going into the.
So, you
trying to think how to. Okay, he made reference in the footnotes to Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Because
putting on the flesh.
Yeah, whenever in Genesis 3:21, when they're getting ready to when they're getting ready to get kicked out of the garden after they had taken of the fruit, and God says, man's become one of us. Right before that, in first Genesis 3:21, it says, "Unto Adam and also to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothe them." But actually, another translation of coats of skins would be tunics of skins, or gave them flesh. Not because the idea is like, why? Okay, Adam and Eve, why would he go kill an animal and make them fur, clothing or whatever, like the Flintstones or whatever, like that. Out of a saber-toothed tiger, or whatever. But it's like, well, before, what were they? Did they have skin?
And that's the common apology, is like, of course they did.
Well, but they weren't mortal. So, I mean, as way back in when we first started, we were talking about the book of Adam and Eve, and they were talking about before we had this bright nature.
Yeah, we can see everything.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we were actually above the angels.
Do you have? You don't have that with you in here, do you?
What? The book of Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But there's a lot of different stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just discreetly.
Well, so before that, they had this bright nature, and then God's getting ready to kick them out, and so they have to become mortal. So he creates human flesh, and they can't go in. One of the things that it seems is they can't. There's the angel with the flaming sword.
I love that part that you. Yeah, exactly.
Because before they could be in the angel's presence, in God's presence even, right?
And with no problem.
Without getting burned. Now they've become mortal, and what's one of the things is that flesh will burn, and like this is where I was going whenever I was looking over the Greek mythology. Dionysus's mom.
Yeah.
What was her name? Selenia?
That sounds like that's what you were saying earlier to me.
Semele. She was tricked by Hera. She was having an affair with Zeus.
Yeah.
And she was tricked by Hera. And Hera's like, hey, dude, you haven't even seen Zeus. He hasn't shown you him in his glory.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Next time he comes to you, you ask him. And so Zeus, of course, next time they're together, Semele and Zeus, she's like, will you do something for me? He's like, I'll do anything you want. I promise by the river Styx.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, I want to see you in all your glory.
He's like, oh, good to know you.
He's like, Hera. He's like, oh, I can't do. Okay, I told you, but you don't want this. And she's like, nope, I gotta see. And so he reveals himself to her, his true self, and she just burns up. But Dionysus, he knows that she's pregnant, and so he saves the kid. But she dies right there. Boom. And then in the Bible too, there's all the no man can see God and live.
Sure, yeah, a lot of that.
But and then even if you think about the burning bush fire, this fire imagery of fire, and
it's all over.
Whenever, So, where was it? So
you're going with the tunic.
Oh, with the tunic of skins. Anyway, it just kind of put me off into this whole other thing. And in the Hermetica, in chapter 10.
Oh, he's going for it.
With why not, man? This is the discourse of Hermes Trismegistus.
The key. Oh.
The key in 10 verse 18.
This is a big one.
Yeah, this is a big boy. Okay, so not the whole thing, but okay, it says, then when the mind has got free of the earthly body, it immediately puts on its own tunic, a tunic of fire, in which it could not stay when in the earthly body. For earth cannot bear fire, or,
Yeah.
the whole thing burns, even from a little spark. This is why water has spread all over the earth. Okay, whatever. Mind, which is the most penetrating of all the divine thoughts, has for its body fire, the most penetrating of all elements. Anyway, so that's this, like, I like that, the idea of like becoming this flame fire being or whatever.
Yeah.
With the mind, and that it's just an interesting concept. I don't know.
What's also interesting is the mind. One of the things, since we've been first kind of like traveling on this hermetic road here, when we talk about the mind, one of the first parallels that I recognized from all this was, to me, the mind, and especially in the Pomandries, the first text, when the mind's like, yeah, I know all your thoughts. Think about it, and I'll teach you.
Yeah.
Right. The mind was, to me, was instantly paralleled with this concept, this Christian concept of the Holy Ghost. Right. The baptism of fire.
Oh, geez, I didn't even think about that.
So I think that's pretty interesting. This deep parallels there.
Yeah. Anyway, I know that kind of goes off.
Yeah, it does. We won't go further on that one.
On a tangent, but it was in his footnotes, and I couldn't help it. I was like, "Whoa, that's a whole new concept."
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it kind of changes what you even read in the Bible. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, wait, you're assuming it's this when it's not saying that. And you know some Hebrew.
A little bit. So which word are you thinking of?
No, but I'm saying I'm just saying I had Brandon look over this article.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I didn't know the actual word that they were using for coat of skins. Like that, the word they were using, but it made sense. The whole thing made sense, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was interesting.
But I'm saying here it doesn't even say coat of skins.
No.
It does. Yeah, it does.
No, it says. Well, because
coats of skins and clothe them. So coats of skins.
Yeah.
Okay, it does say coats of skins. But I'm saying, but anyway. But it's not what it might possibly not be what you think.
Yeah,
or maybe
all this. I actually lean on that interpretation of it right now.
Yeah.
I think it makes more sense to me.
So anyway, this was cool. So ignorance of the greatest evil in mankind is ignorance concerning God. They don't really hit on that so much.
No,
they just talk about ignorance.
It's just the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird because they added something to it. It could have just been the greatest evil in mankind is ignorance.
Yeah, and it's also like it's playing on the previous text that was giving us these different degrees of like.
Yeah. Oh God.
Of goodness.
Yeah.
And what it's kind of like this good and versus evil thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and speaking of evil, here's the greatest evil. And it's almost like that was how I took it, but I'm not sure if that's the case because you said that you read something about how it might belong somewhere else. But anyways,
but this one is a very Greek, very like the how it talks about the odious tunic, the stinky body, that the mind's above the body, like very Socratic,
sure,
or Plato, thing that it's the
cage.
mind that's the high thing, and it's the body that's the bad thing, or that's corrupting you. And I don't know if I go with that necessarily. But that's just in my opinion. I'm just like, well,
if there's any
you know what?
If there's any scapegoat in this, it's the body.
Yeah,
have the
but
body.
it can be overcome.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that there's, you know, but why? Anyway, it leaves big questions of why would you create a body for man if it was a bad thing? You know what I'm saying? And it leaves big questions.
It does.
Like why would you put him in this human prison
And I
or
think that's
dead
one of the
or sentient
questions.
corpse?
That's one of the questions that religion has always tried to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Some of them
eventually
some of
they'll
them
answer in this or
yeah,
not.
some of them have some, some of them have some convincing answers to it, or some of them
Or
are
some
like, what?
just gloss
You're
over it,
stretching
too.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Like he's not like with the previous one, he wasn't glossing over the whole who made
Totally. There was
who made
a lot of reverence on that.
Yeah, he's just like, dude, you know what? I'm gonna pretty much lay it out, but not every question has an answer, I guess, or maybe it does. It's just not expounded.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They didn't think
D?
about that.
Yeah.
So there it is. Hopefully we'll get this edited with the trauma of the kid up in the tree.
Yeah, we'll
Somewhat
find out how
edited
much
out.
gems are there.
We'll leave some of it in because it's pretty funny. But
yeah, apologize for that. I should not have been watching those kids through the window.
well, it's your heart reaching out to them.
I love people, humans.
I love children.
All right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, well, that's it for this one.
Yeah, thanks for listening / watching.
Yeah.
And let us know if you have any questions. Whatever way you, at this point, at this moment, whatever way you can.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we're gonna try.
The easiest way right now is probably to comment on the YouTube videos that we post. But our goal is to give you another way through, whether it's through the podcast aggregator that we're using to, or whether it's somewhere else. Yeah, we want to make it. We want to allow you to comment, because we didn't know that there was anybody actually listening to us, but apparently there is.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I mean, I don't know.
We get a lot more listeners than we do watchers, so we'll look into that.
Yeah. So, and thanks for listening.
Yeah. Have a good next few weeks, and we'll get to you sooner than we did last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye.